What's up, guys? Your boys are back. I'm Ryan, my man George.
What's up, guys? How you living out there, man? Shout out to the free thinkers, of course. Shout out to everybody that is on our Def the Radio Instagram now that requested us to get to this King's Disease album. Make sure y'all follow us on Def the Radio. DEAF2 Radio is our new Instagram. Make sure y'all follow us there.
And as always, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified when we drop new music. Up and coming artists, make sure you click the link in the description. We'll do about 60 seconds of your song in the front of one of our up and coming videos to get you some exposure. So if you're interested, make sure you click that link in the description. We did Full Circle, which was hard. That was off of King's Disease 1. So check that video out, man, if y'all haven't seen that, man. Then we did Nobody, which was off King's Disease 2. And
Yes.
that was with Lauryn Hill.
The great
which
Lauryn
was
Hill.
fire. And then, what was it? Meet Joe Black?
Yep.
Right? And that was off of Magic. Right?
Magic, yeah. We really
Yeah, man.
like that Magic album. I'm going to keep it real, man.
Check that out, man. Check these. We'll see if we'll put them on the screen somewhere so you guys can go back to these.
Check those out, man. And listen, man, we're getting to King's Disease 3. But one thing that we want to do a better job of, and we did that coming off the Drake reactions. I know some of y'all are like, yes. Some of y'all are like more Drake reactions. Some of y'all are like, all right, come on, let's get to some other shit. But what we did with that, man, is we want to just delve a little bit more into albums. We can't always do album reviews time-wise. It's just tough to knock out album reviews. But what we want to do more of is just doing more songs and getting a better understanding of what's moving and just, just penetrating those albums a little bit more. So I think that's what we want to do with this King's Disease 3. We'll try to get a handful of songs done for you guys. So Thun, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What's up, Thun? Yeah, this old school Queens language there. Shout out to Rest in Peace Prodigy and shout out to Mobb Deep and Havoc from Mobb Deep as well. That's the first time I heard Thun was with via Prodigy. So yeah, man, let's get to it, man. You know, King Esco, to me, one of my Mount Rushmore guys.
Yeah, man.
Literally the creme de la creme, cream of the crop.
Yeah, man.
All time great. Always love doing Nas. So let's see what's going on, man. Hit Boy, supporting him as well. This has been a nice little run they've been on. Let's see if they can keep up the momentum.
Whole album, right?
Whole album.
Yeah.
The last four. This is what they had: King's Disease 1, 2, 3, Magic. Now this one. So let's rock. Nas Thun.
Queensbridge, baby. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Not niggas I really met through music shit. It be some real thuns I grew up with. Phone calls from the feds, long story so fast. Wishing they get home in a hurry, cause we the last of a dying pack of lions. Nightmares of the cast, thoroughbreds surviving, Welcome home, Ronnie.
This shit sounds like so Nas, man. Hit Boy has really done a great job of capturing Nas. There's a part of me, and also letting Nas kind of get a little loose on beats that may not be exactly Nas beats. I think he's done a good job of making sure that Nas sounds like Nas. But, stretching him a little bit on some modern shit, too. I think that Hit Boy's done good with that, because this sounds like a Nas beat.
It does, man.
Violins and everything. This sounds like some firm shit to me.
And I love the ad-libs, Queens in the house, as he's rapping. And I think that sounds like that might be the chorus, because that doesn't sound like a verse to me. So the way that he's able to incorporate that Queens in the house, that's all the production that you're talking about. That shit does sound like throwback Nas, but kind of a modern touch to it.
A slight touch.
It does. You know what I mean? Because it's not like old as fuck. I don't know. Maybe it's just my bias, because I love the way this sounds.
Yeah.
But it just I think that the song ain't even fucking started. I think they're doing a good job.
Let's get back to it, man. Let's start that.
Let's start that over. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Queensbridge, baby. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Not niggas I really met through music shit. It be some real thuns I grew up with. Phone calls from the feds, long story so fast. Wishing they get home in a hurry, cause we the last of a dying pack of lions. Nightmares of the cast, thoroughbreds surviving, Welcome home, Ronnie Bumps, and Love the Corley. That boss ordered us lobster tails late night in 40. We was out there trying to rid the stress. Had a beat tape from Stretch, Rest, Black Tech, Black Vest to Master Dark Aura. We hit the city deep in the Explorer. Looking at the source, wish I was the cover story that was coming shortly. Cars back then had broad packed in. Rest in peace of you good men, the God Star Kim. I pop a bottle, we not promised tomorrow. Showing love is the motto. Flicks a cowboy hat, strapped like Desperados. They lit one out the chamber, no iron fired in a vegetative state. When that man China died, stomped out on 12th Street. Memory fails me, heard homie was a real G. That's what they tell me, I was the one to run through the functions, no funny acting. And it was me that introduced many to money bags and Grandmaster Vic. The DJs, Disco Twins. from the towers to Promenade. Host a party up in Starless, they know Queens in the house. No beef or rivals, they playing either a title. Brothers can do anything when they decide to win a Range Rover. Dissecting bars from Takeover. Sometimes I text over like, nigga, this ain't overlap. I had to hold it down for Queens cause I overvalue fiends. Shout to Brooklyn, all between. Hoods be overlapping, subways be stacked. And I ain't been on a train in decades and I can still hear the wheels on the tracks. Feel the beat break, serial deface for Jakes. A license to carry still ain't safe in New York State. There's still a lot of ways to manage the life expectancy average. The future of our next generation.
I love this song, boy. This is just Nas is in his bag. This is Nas.
Yeah,
this is him in his bag.
I love it, man. I like how we snuck that bar in. Like, man, I was texting Hove like, nigga, this shit still ain't over. Laughing, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got more to do. You know what I'm saying? We've done a lot. You know what I mean? Let's not get it twisted. We've done a lot to get to where we're at, you know, not only from a financial standpoint, but just from a cultural standpoint, what we've done to hip hop and music and the culture. We've came a long ass way, but this shit still ain't over. You know what I'm saying? We still got so much more to do. You know what I mean? And that's what this feels like to me. This feels like Nas is like, dude, I'm not done yet. Don't put the retirement fucking flag on me yet. There's no tears like, oh, this shit's over. It ain't over yet, bro.
They ain't got to get this like LeBron playing Father Time in that new commercial. Like Nas is like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? It ain't over yet, Father Time. Hold on. I got a lot to say. But that no beef or rivals, they playing Ether on Tidal. Brothers can do anything when they decide to, right? And then he followed it up with a little like, I'm still from time to time, I listen to Takeover like, oh, I still feel a little way about that sometimes. No, but Nas obviously was saying that in jest. Him and Jay are actually pretty close these days. But I love that, man. Because brothers can do anything when they decide. They're playing Ether on Tidal. Tidal is obviously Jay-Z's platform, you know, streaming platform. They're playing Ether, the song dissing Jay-Z on Tidal. So we can do anything like that. It's so much bigger than a corny ass little beef. So I love that, man. It shows maturity, it shows evolution, and it shows the power of what could be done, right? When you have greats who have resources that come together, man. Just honestly, to me, it's more like the possibilities, because it's like a lot needs to be done that's not being done. But the possibilities of the mindset, like, dude, we can get past things. We don't have to hold grudges eternally. We can forgive each other and come together as men, and make up and create something amazing that's greater for everyone, for the greater good. Of, you know what I'm saying, culture or whatever the case may be. So I thought that was just a powerful line, man. And they're living it. You know what I'm saying? Him and Jay are both living that.
One thing I like, man, is kind of he's telling like his story, man. He said, I had the beat tape that I got from Stretch, man. You know what I'm saying? And I had the black tech with the black vest to match the dark aura and shit. So not only was I trying to get this rap shit off the ground, I still had, you know, like street codes to abide by. You know what I'm saying?
We was deep in that Explorer.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Looking at the source, wishing I was on the cover story that was coming shortly.
First of all, Nas is a transporter with his lyrics. Like, he takes you to whatever he's describing is extremely vivid always. Like when he says, even at the end of this verse, when he says, you know, I can still hear the train tracks squeaking, you know what I mean, or screeching. You know what I'm saying? Like it brings you to Queens. The whole song, he's talking about Queens in the house. And he's talking about street legends and, you know what I mean, Ronnie Bumps and DJs from Queens. But he's also talking about, the song's called Done. It's Duns when he said, at the beginning of this, he was just like, these are some dudes that I don't know from music or something like that. Yeah, these aren't dudes I met through music. These are like street superstars. These are street legends. You know what I'm saying? He's like, we are the last of a dying breed. A pack of lions or something like that, he said, right? Last of a dying breed, pack of lions, you know? We hoping that these dudes come home fast, right? Long stories on the phone told fast, right? Because they're locked up and they only have but so much time on the phone. Long, important stories, trying to catch up. Right? So just the details, long stories told fast. What Ryan just touched on, where it was a black aura, black tent, you know, but wishing I was on the cover of the source. Like, you really get transported into a world with Nas. And that is what makes him just like an all-time great. Like, no one quite transports you into their world quite like Nas does, man. So, dude, so far so good.
Well said, man. Because it's so true. Because the details is what transports you, right? It's just the little details, because you wouldn't know those things unless you lived that life, right?
We all felt like we was from Queens a little bit, right? Man. You know, especially Illmatic. When Illmatic dropped, man, that to me is like, when I think of New York, I think of Illmatic and what Nas was talking about, right? Him and Biggie and Ready to Die, all those albums that dropped at that time, like, it really painted the picture of New York, the details of the picture of New York, though. Like, oh, okay. So, anyways, yeah, let's keep it going, man. I love the beat.
It's hard though, dude.
And not to even undersell when he got in that the cadence, right? Yeah. Like the cars back then had Raw packed in. Rest in peace, a few good men. The guard stacked them or stalked them or whatever he said right there, right? Just the bam, 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 right? The fluidity in that is when Nas, to me, when I think of Nas getting in his bag, that cadence is slick too. So yeah, let's keep it rocking, man. Loving this one though.
Yes, sir.
Like nigga, this ain't overlapping. I had to hold it down for Queens, cause I overvalue fiends. Shout to Brooklyn, all between hoods be overlapping. Subways be stacked, and I ain't been on a train in decades, and I can still hear the wheels on the tracks. Feel the beat break, serial deface for Jakes. A license to carry still ain't safe in New York State. There's still a lot of ways to manage the life expectancy average. The future of our next generation ain't been established. Conflicted by some of the same patterns that had us. Money and social status, tell me what really matters. So who are you when they turn off all the cameras with me? You know the answers. Go ask Tony Bennett. Terrace on the park, they gotta know. DJ Clue, Envy, and Camilo. Where are my most beautiful queens in the house? When you see me at awards or a popular place, I see chains shining, I wanna stock it over my face. Coordinated, try to see me by some popular names. For a second, I'm on some shit like it was back in the days when dudes would really put that thing until your rib cage and pull a switchblade, do anything. It's the bridgeway, but I go through, roll through, just sold out the O2. Piece on my neck in a high-tech polo suit. Drove down Van Wyck, Coliseum and Stan Smith's. Tan Blick in the desert, Bricktown where my mans live. Not niggas I really met through music shit. It be some real thuns I grew up with. Phone calls from the feds, long stories told fast. Wishing they get home in a hurry, cause we the last of a dying pack of lions, nightmares of the cast. Bread, survivor, No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
And you don't have to sing
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
I'm out.
I'm on some shit, boy. Make it a classic tonight. That money getting burrowed about that action, that's right.
Yeah.
Thunderous, Mad Thunderous. Manhattan keeps on making it. Brooklyn keeps on taking it. Bronx keeps creating it. And Queens keep on caking it. Shouts to the west side, to the 6th borough, Far Rock, south side and north side.
Queens in the house.
Yeah, that was super hard.
They bodied that.
Playlist. They both, yes.
They bodied that.
I'm glad you said they. I'm glad you say they, because that beat was cool.
Yeah, dude.
And vintage.
It was just such a beautiful marriage, man.
Yeah,
you know
that was super hard, man.
They killed that shit.
Damn. And this motherfucker, how old is Nas? Like 80 right now.
Yeah.
Still bodying shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Shout out to Nas. Nas is not 80. But Nas, man, for how long? 30 years or something like that?
Yeah.
Nas has
that's
been
true.
bombing on dudes. He made Illmatic when he was, what, 17, 18?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 19? You know, and he has been, and that was in 93? And he's
Yep.
been bombing on dudes and still relevant, still making moves, still an important figure, still making stuff at this level is just incredible, man.
It's hard, man. And I really enjoyed this song too, man, for a multitude of different reasons. But I want to talk about the feeling that the song gives me, man. It's kind of like the way people feel about New York that are from New York is the way I feel about Chicago, people that are from Chicago, you know? And I feel like it's a sense of pride, you know, good or bad. So the bad is I got a license to carry and it still ain't safe in New York State. But the good is what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a pride and a beauty to the struggle, man. There's good and bad. And I think he did a really good job breaking that down in this song.
There is a thing called like street glory. You know what I'm saying? Like it is, you know, this is what it is. Like we looked up to a lot of the guys that were selling drugs because those are the guys that had the things that we wanted. Like they had the fly chains, they had the cars, they had the girls, they had everything that a young impressionable mind would think is great. And I hear this thing with these old school rappers where they denounce things and they know that certain things are just inherently bad, man. Like, you know, the drugs and how drugs inflicted the community and violence isn't bad, but there is a glory with it. There is a glory. There is a glory with being a hustler that got the money, that got this, you know, got the chains, got the cars, got the girls. There is a glory with being the enforcer in the hood and being a dude that you know was about what he says he's about. There is that attachment to and people almost look up to it, right? They admire it. And I think it has a lot to do with our primal nature. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go off course too much here, but it's just the primal nature that I think when Nas describes Queens and describes these dudes, they've been through the fire, so they're battle tested. It's almost like a dude that came back from war, like he was in the trenches, you know, battle tested. So like he probably had to kill some people, you know, which is a horrible thing. But you kind of look up to a guy that went through the trenches, that went through all of that, it just shows their makeup. So that's how I take it when Nas and maybe Jay and some of these old school cats, you know, the Ransom, who we've been listening to a lot, they almost glorify it, but I understand the reasoning why. I'm not saying it's okay.
Yeah.
And I think Nas does a good job of telling you the good and the bad, but you can hear the sense of pride in it. Even you can hear the sense of pride in the bad. And you can even see a hint of that when Nas kind of goes into this like scenario. He was saying this in jest, but he was just like, you know, when you see me at awards or a popular place, I see chains shining. I want a stocking cap over my face. Yeah. You know, you said for a second, I'm on some shit like it was back in the day when dudes really put that thing to your ribcage. So it's his way of saying I'm so Queens. Like I'm just so Queens. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm from. That's the Bridgeway, right? I'm just from that type of cloth where back in the days, man, when the stick-up kids was running rampant in New York and all that before Giuliani, everybody came in and shut shit down. But when things were a little wild, I'm from that old New York. It's his way of saying that, but it's also his way of almost like expressing sort of a reverence for coming from that, right? Reverence from that mindset. You know what I'm saying? And it's a sense of pride, man. It's called for what it is. It's for pride. Like, I've been through the fire, man. Queens in the house. You know what I'm saying? I come from that cloth with stick up kids. We shouldn't even be talking about that in reality, right? We should be like, yeah, you know, stocking cap. That's horrible. You want to rob people for the jewelry, but it's a pride thing, like Ryan touched. It is a glory to that world, and coming from that world and making it through that world, you feel like a sense of accomplishment because, you know, most people on average don't do that. So it says a lot about who you are if you were to come from that and get where Nas is at, being worth a couple $100 million at this point.
I think in the 90s, man, New York was like the most dangerous city in the U.S. I don't know about the world, but I know in the U.S. because I know to keep it real with you, to touch on that pride. I know being from Chicago, I think we all were like, man, you know, but we get busy over here too. I think
we need to catch up.
I think that's why Chicago's so crazy.
We need to catch up. We was like, now we got to catch them dudes, man. And they did.
Which is horrible.
And surpassed them.
which is horrible, right?
And he's just so hip hop with it. He's just so pure. That's why he's the people's champ. He's the people's champ, all-time great. He's the one that you want to be the all-time great because he just bleeds hip hop, man.
Yeah,
he's always maintained it, always done him. You know what I'm saying? Like, pretty much, you know what you get with Nas, and he's not going to try no fucking goofy shit.
Yep.
You know, he's going to be him. So we'll keep going, man. We got some other joints. I think we had on the list, we had Serious and Beef. Beef is by far the second biggest request. So we'll probably get that done next.
17 tracks on here, too.
Yeah, we might get Beef done next. Right now, actually. I don't know where y'all want us to go after, you know, we get Beef, because we're going to get Beef done.
Yep.
You know, just give us some suggestions on Def to Radio, you know, and that's it. If you guys enjoyed that, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm George. That's Ryan. Lost in Vegas.
We out.